green anaconda. There is a new species of green anaconda which is the largest snake, the northern green anaconda, and Lacertilia, the largest lizard being the infamous Komodo dragon, and we have the archosaurs. Now archosauria have two suborders. One is the crocodilia. Now what is this Jacobson's organs? You will find that in snakes and in certain lizards they have a forked tongue, like the monitor lizards and the snakes. They have a forked tongue, a divided tongue. Okay, the tip of the tongue is divided into two halves. Now they flick their tongues, they collect scent molecules from the environment and they retract their tongues back into their mouth, and there is this Jacobson's organ situated at the roof of their head or the palate of their upper jaws. However, if you inject poison in the bloodstream, it will not do. Poison needs to be ingested and venom needs to be injected into the blood. This is the main difference between poison and venom. Let us look into the classification scheme of class Reptilia. Now, class Reptilia can be subdivided into various subclasses. First is the Anapsida. Anapsids have a skull shape like this. They have the nasal opening, the eye, but they do not have a temporal opening behind the eyes. They have a single living order called Chelonia, which includes all turtles and tortoises. Tortoises are terrestrial, turtles are freshwater and marine both. Next we have Eurapsida and Parapsida, which are extinct, and we have the Synapsida. Synapsids have a temporal opening just below the eye cavity, and the classic primitive synapsids have all been extinct, and from them stem mammals or proto mammals have evolved. Okay, and from those stem mammals and proto mammals we have the class Mammalia. So mammals have developed from synapsids. However, you won't find any temporal opening in the mammalian skull in the present day mammals. They have been lost. Next we have the diapsids, which have two temporal openings behind the eye cavity, and they have three orders: the Rhynchocephalia, the Lepidosauria and Archosauria. Rhynchocephalians are lizard-like animals. Okay, and there is only one living species under Rhynchocephalians, the Tuatara. Okay, or the Sphenodon. They are found in New Zealand, and one interesting fact about the Tuatara is these animals have a rudimentary third eye at the top of their head, and they are visually not functioning anymore. They are visually non-functional, but they can still sense difference between light and darkness. So Tuatara are the only vertebrates having three eyes or a third eye at the top of their head. Next we have the Lepidosauria, which is divided into the suborder Squamata, which is further divided into two infraorders, the Ophidians or the snakes and the Lacertilians or the lizards. The largest snake is the South American green anaconda. There is a new species of green anaconda which is the largest snake, the northern green anaconda, and Lacertilia, the largest lizard being the infamous Komodo dragon, and we have the archosaurs. Now archosauria have two suborders. One is the crocodilia. Crocodilia is divided into three infraorders: the crocodiles, the alligators and the gharials. We have the gharials and the crocodiles in India. Alligators are restricted. Alligators and caimans are restricted to the Americas. The North Americans have the alligator, the South America have the caimans. The largest of all living reptiles is the saltwater crocodile. Okay, and the extinct Dinosauria. Now, an infraorder of the dinosaurs. Okay, mainly the theropod dinosaurs. like the dinosaurs, like the velociraptors, they had a body plan similar to birds, or they were showing trends of evolving into birds, and from those kind of dinosaurs we have developed the archaeornithes or the primitive birds, and from that primitive birds class AVs or the neornithes have evolved. So birds are kind of, you can say, dinosaurs because they have directly evolved from a lineage of dinosaurs. Okay, and birds are indirectly diapsids. However, similarly as in mammals, you won't find any temporal opening in the skulls of modern birds as well. Now, what are the diagnostic features of reptilia? They are exclusively terrestrial. They are, although they are quite adept in water, like crocodiles, like turtles. However, they are exclusively terrestrial as they do not depend on water for reproduction. Okay, they have three chambered hearts. Crocs have incompletely four chambered hearts. They have clawed pentameric, means 5 digits, pentameric digits in each limb. They have epidermal scales. What are epidermal scales? This is the dermis. This is the epidermis, and the top of the epidermis, in mammals we have the stratum corneum. Here the stratum corneum, the the stratum corneum is modified into scales. So they have epidermal scales, as the scales are on top of the epidermis. Okay, the stratum corneum or the external most part of the epidermis is modified into scales. Obviously, they are poikilotherms or cold-blooded. They are dioecious with internal fertilization, and they can be of oviparous, means egg laying, like turtles and crocodiles. Viviparous, giving birth to live individuals such as vipers and anacondas, certain snakes, or they can be ovoviviparous, meaning they develop soft eggs inside the reproductive tract of the female, where the eggs hatch inside the female and the live individuals come out, the ovoviviparous. Reptiles also have a cloaca, like in amphibians. Cloaca means common passage for gametes and excretory wastes. Okay, cloaca. Now this cloaca is also found in amphibians, reptiles, and species or fish. Okay, also in birds, cloaca is present. In amphibians, reptile species, means fish and birds, cloaca is present in these four classes: amphibians, reptiles, fish and bird. Cloaca is present. Okay. Uh, and they have metanephric kidneys. The first time we are seeing metanephric kidneys. Okay. And in snakes and lizards, they have a Jacobson's organ. Now, what is this Jacobson's organs? You will find that in snakes and in certain lizards, they have a forked tongue. Like the monitor lizards and the snakes, they have a forked tongue, a divided tongue. Okay, the tip of the tongue is divided into two halves. Now, they flick their tongues, they collect scent molecules from the environment and they retract their tongues back into their mouth, and there is this Jacobson's organ situated at the roof of their head or the palate of their upper jaws. This is the upper jaw. Okay, the roof of the upper jaw where we can touch our tongues, there is the Jacobson's organs. Only in snakes and the monitor lizards. This is a chemosensory organ. This organ converts those chemical signatures into electrical impulses which are then conveyed to the brain, and the brain sends signal back to the animal that okay, this scent belongs to an animal which you can eat, and this scent belongs to something which you cannot eat. So based on this Jacobson's organ, they can find their prey even in total darkness or even if they are blinded. Some snakes have heat sensory organs such as in pit vipers and pythons, which creates a more or less infrared image of their surroundings, which helps them to capture warm-blooded prey like birds and mammals. Some snakes and lizards like the Gila monster of the Mexican region and the infamous Komodo dragon, these are venomous lizards, they have venom. Some snakes, almost 20% of all snakes in the world are venomous. They have venom glands, they can inject venom. Now the difference between venom and poison is poison needs to be consumed. It needs to get into your digestive system and then absorbed from your digestive system to cause any harm to your body. Venom needs to be injected in your bloodstream directly to cause any ill effects in your body. If you eat venom, you will only have food poisoning and diarrhea, and you will probably not die. Okay, until and unless you have cuts in your mouth and tongue from which the venom can enter into your bloodstream. If venom does not enter into your bloodstream, it won't cause any harm. However, if you inject poison in the bloodstream, it will not do. Poison needs to be ingested, and venom needs to be injected into the blood. This is the main difference between poison and venom. So, reptiles are one of the most amazing animals we have. Dinosaurs, the largest of all reptiles in the history of the animal world. Sadly, most of them are extinct. Some of them have evolved into birds. So, the next time you look into a bird, you will see an evolved dinosaur. That is why birds are also known as glorified reptiles. Okay. So this is all about class Reptilia. Um there are a lot of reptiles, like the common house gecko we see on the walls of our rooms. They are also reptiles, and most of the reptiles are sadly now extinct. Eurapsids, parapsids, even the synapsids are extinct. All the orders under anapsids are extinct. Diapsids only have these three living orders. Even a suborder Dinosauria is extinct. Okay, so the most famous of all animals, the most feared of all animals fall under class Reptilia, and one of the most important as well. They serve as pest controls, natural pest controls of our environment. And they are also important in research. The venom of the reptiles are used to make various medicines, and these are the diagnostic features common to all reptiles. Okay. Also, since reptiles are totally modified for terrestrial lives, even the turtles who are aquatic, even in crocodiles, they have fully developed lungs, no gills in any part of their life cycle. They do not have gills in any part of their life cycle. They have fully developed lungs. Okay, and their three-chambered hearts have two auricles, one ventricle. In crocodile, it is incompletely four-chambered because the one ventricle is incompletely divided. It has a hole in the interventricular septum, causing the mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood, and that hole is called as the temporal fossa. I'm sorry, not the temporal fossa. That hole is known as the interventricular fossa or the interventricular foramen, which causes mixing of the oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. So they are not very, what should I say, they do not have high stamina, as I should say. This incompletely four-chambered heart condition is even found in some human babies as well, which signifies that mammals have evolved from reptilian ancestors. Okay, so this is all we need to know about class Reptilia.